There's a moment in your life when you finally get tired of proving your worth to people who were never meant to see it in the first place. That moment doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't always arrive in some big, dramatic way. Often it's quiet, it's still, it's the day you stop explaining yourself, the moment you stop waiting for someone to change, the hour you stop showing up for people who never showed up for you, and in that moment, you start showing up for yourself. You don't become strong overnight. You become strong in the silent decisions that no one else sees, when you stop texting first, when you delete the number, when you don't justify the pain they caused because you're tired of creating a narrative for someone who couldn't be honest with you. You become strong when you let the silence speak louder than your efforts ever could, when you finally realize that someone who wants to be there will, that love shouldn't feel like a puzzle, that the person who values you doesn't keep you guessing. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, not because you're passive, but because you've grown. You've outgrown conversations that go in circles. You've outgrown one-sided effort. You've outgrown convincing someone to treat you like you matter. It's easy to fall in love with someone's potential. It's harder to accept who they really are. But when you start choosing reality over potential, peace follows. You stop living in the illusion of what it could be and start living in the truth of what it is. And what it is this. If you constantly have to wonder where you stand, then you're already standing alone. You are not born to chase love. You were born to embody it, to hold yourself with such dignity that others learn how to treat you by watching how you treat yourself. You don't need to be chosen by someone who doesn't even know what they want. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who's confused about theirs. You don't need to keep pouring into someone who's drinking from every cup but yours. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not asking for too much just because you want clarity, consistency, and care. Those are the bare minimum. They're the basics. And the person who's right for you will never make you feel guilty for needing the very things that make a relationship healthy. You're allowed to want someone who shows up, who calls when they say they will, who doesn't ghost you and call it space, who doesn't disappear when things get real. You're allowed to want depth over games, maturity over charm, presence over promises. You've spent enough time trying to decode mixed signals. You've spent enough nights analyzing messages, wondering what went wrong, trying to find the magic formula to make someone choose you. But here's the truth. The right person doesn't need convincing. They just know, they feel it, and they act on it. There's a whole different kind of peace that comes when you stop trying to make someone love you and start loving yourself in the places they overlooked. When you become the love you never received, when you learn how to be whole on your own, not because you've given up on love, but because you've stopped abandoning yourself for it. Stop making excuses for the person who cancels last minute. Stop filling in the gaps for the one who always leaves you unsure. Stop romanticizing the crumbs when you know deep down you deserve the whole meal. Because here's the deal, you set the standard. Every time you accept less, you teach someone that it's enough. Every time you stay quiet, you tell them it's okay. Every time you tolerate the bare minimum, you reinforce the idea that they can show up halfway and still keep you. But you were not made for halfway love. You were made for all-in, no doubt heart why, dopin' kind of love, the kind where you don't feel anxious every time your phone buzzes, the kind where you don't have to pretend to be less emotional, less invested, less real just to keep someone around. You are allowed to want more, and you're brave enough to wait for it. Let go of the idea that being alone means being unworthy. You are not alone because you're unlovable. You're alone because you've raised your standards, because you've chosen healing over repeating cycles, because you've realized that loneliness in peace is better than company in chaos. Don't water yourself down to fit into someone else's cup. Don't shrink your needs just to keep someone comfortable. Don't quiet your voice just to be liked. The people who are meant for you won't need you to be less of anything. They'll celebrate your too muchness. They'll honor your heart. They'll respect your depth. You don't need to be everything to everyone. You just need to be everything to the right one. And before that person comes, be everything to yourself. Take yourself out. Say the words you need to hear. Hold your own hand. Cry when it hurts. Celebrate when it doesn't. Make space for your own healing. Show yourself that love doesn't always come from the outside. The most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. And if that relationship is rooted in self-abandonment, self-doubt, or self-criticism, then nothing outside of you will ever truly feel fulfilling. So start here with honesty, with compassion, with boundaries, not as walls, but as doors. Doors that only open to those who knock with intention, who enter with care, who stay with purpose, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them, not after the third chance, not after the excuses, not after you've rewritten the story to make them look better. Believe them the first time, because your energy is sacred, your heart is sacred, your time is sacred, and the moment you start treating it like it is, everything changes. You start attracting different people. You start feeling more at peace. You stop being addicted to the drama that once felt like love. This is your reminder. You don't need someone else to validate your worth. You don't need the relationship status to feel whole. You don't need to fix anyone to feel loved. The person who chooses you won't need to be fixed, and they won't want to fix you. They'll see you just as you are. They'll meet you where you are, and they'll stay not because you asked, but because it's the only thing that made sense to them. Until then, be okay with being misunderstood. Be okay with being too much. Be okay with being called picky, demanding, or intense. Because the right people will see those things as clarity, confidence, and passion. Let this season of your life be the one where you choose you over and over, without guilt, without apology, without second guessing. Not because you've given up on love, but because you've finally stopped giving up on yourself. You can feel it when something doesn't align anymore. The energy shifts, the peace gets disrupted. You start doubting yourself in ways you never used to. That's the moment to pay attention. That's your clarity speaking louder than your emotions, because emotions can trick you. They can make you stay in places that no longer serve you for the sake of nostalgia or hope. But clarity is a gift, and when it shows up, listen. You don't have to burn yourself out to prove you're worthy. You don't need to overextend, overgive, or overcompensate to be loved. You don't have to become smaller just to be digestible for someone who isn't ready to handle you in full. Every time you ignore your intuition, you abandon your own wisdom. And how many times have you done that just to keep someone close? How many times have you known something wasn't right, but stayed anyway hoping your love could fix what their character lacked? Love is not supposed to be heavy all the time. It's not supposed to feel like begging. If you're always exhausted trying to keep someone's interest, then you're not in a relationship, you're in a performance, and that kind of love will only drain you. You deserve to exhale in love, to feel safe, not anxious. To be embraced, not analyzed. To be loved for who you are, not who you're pretending to be just to avoid being left. You can't control who sees your value. You can't force someone to meet you at your depth. You can't convince someone to choose you when they're committed to confusion, but you can choose you again and again, and when you do, something powerful happens. You stop chasing closure. You stop begging for clarity. You stop handing out discounts on your worth to people who never paid full attention. You don't need another apology. You need a new standard. The person who ghosted you, let them go. The one who keeps playing games, let them go. The one who only shows up when it's convenient, let them go. Every time you hold on to someone who doesn't value you, you delay the arrival of someone who will. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to evolve past relationships that once made sense but now feel misaligned. It's okay to walk away without the long explanation. Growth isn't always mutual, and that's not your fault. You don't owe everyone access to you, especially not the ones who confused your kindness for weakness. especially not the ones who only came around when it benefited them. Let this be the season you stop asking for love in places where it costs you your peace. Because peace is not a luxury, it's a requirement. It's the foundation for everything healthy. And when you start prioritizing your peace, everything starts to shift. Your choices change. Your energy becomes sacred. Your standards become non-negotiable. People will feel the shift. Some won't like it. Some will say you've changed. Some will call you cold or distant. But the truth is, you've just stopped living for their comfort and started living for your clarity. You've stopped shrinking yourself for crumbs. You've stopped accepting maybes in a world where certainty is possible. You've stopped letting someone's inconsistent behavior confuse you into believing you were the problem. You are not hard to love. You were just trying to love someone who doesn't know what love actually requires. So take your power back. Take it back when you stop responding to texts that bring you anxiety. Take it back when you unfollow accounts that make you question your worth. Take it back when you walk away from conversations that feel more like battles than connections. Healing doesn't always look like meditation and journaling. Sometimes healing looks like blocking a number, like deleting the messages, like saying this isn't working for me, without needing to justify why. Sometimes healing looks like unlearning everything you thought love was supposed to be and realizing it starts with you. There's nothing weak about choosing yourself. There's nothing selfish about setting boundaries. There's nothing wrong with walking away from something that looks right but feels wrong. Your body knows. Your gut knows. Your soul knows. Listen, you don't need a checklist to know when someone isn't treating you right. You feel it in your stomach. You feel it in your sleep. You feel it in how much energy you have left after being around them. Healthy love gives you energy. It doesn't leave you constantly questioning your sanity. Stop looking for love in people who are still looking for themselves. You're not here to be someone's emotional rehab. You're not a project. You're not here to fix, to heal, to rescue. You're here to be loved fully, intentionally, consistently. You've spent enough time being almost enough, almost loved, almost chosen. You're not an almost. You are the whole thing, and it's time to start acting like it. Start showing up in rooms like you belong there because you do. Start walking away from half-hearted energy because you're no longer desperate. Start holding yourself to a standard so high that the only people who remain in your life are the ones who rise to meet it. This isn't about being hard. This is about being clear, clear about your needs, clear about your values, clear about what you will and won't accept, because clarity creates alignment. And when you are aligned with yourself, everything that's not meant for you falls away naturally. No more trying to fit in where you don't belong. No more apologizing for your standards. No more waiting to be chosen like love is a prize you have to earn. You are the prize, and the right person will never make you feel like you have to compete to be kept. So breathe, let it hurt, let it go, let it heal and then rise, not because they came back, but because you came back to the version of you that doesn't settle, to the version of you that knows their value, to the version of you that's done begging for the bare minimum and ready to demand the absolute most from life, from love, and most importantly, from yourself. You are not here to chase, you're here to receive, to allow, to attract what aligns. You don't have to try harder to make someone stay. The one who wants to stay will meet you at your level, not pull you away from it. So stop lowering your standards just to feel less alone. Stop romanticizing red flags just to keep the story alive. Stop hoping for a breakthrough in a place where your heart keeps breaking. The right person won't just meet your expectations, they'll exceed them naturally. Not because you forced it, but because they genuinely value who you are. You deserve someone who makes you feel safe in your softness, who sees your strength and doesn't try to control it, who sees your heart and doesn't take advantage of it. Until that person comes, fall in love with your own growth. Fall in love with the life you're building. Fall in love with the moments of peace that come from knowing you're no longer settling. This isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of your power. The moment you chose yourself, everything began to change. You stopped begging, you stopped chasing, you started rising, you started attracting, you started embodying the kind of energy that no longer tolerates confusion, delays, or disrespect. And from that place, the love you receive will match the love you gave, the kind that's honest, deep, and undeniable, because you became it first, and that is the most powerful transformation of all.